been a long time coming, but we've got some nice things to say about Las Vegas. Things are finally heating up in the desert. Welcome to Apartment Market Dynamics from MPF Research. I'm Jay Parsons, your Las Vegas update. When we talk about different markets across the country, Las Vegas has been the punching bag for a long time. Its struggles have been well chronicled, so we won't bother getting into all of that again. It's been in its own category of the last few years. But finally, we are seeing some good numbers coming out of the Las Vegas apartment market. This chart perhaps best captures the story. Year-over-year change in new leases topped the U.S. average for the first time in 8 years, the first time since Q2 of 2006. As of Q3 2014, rents in Vegas were up 4.6% year over year. And what's happening is something we saw occur across most of the country a few years ago, where apartment operators are pulling rental concessions out of the market, and that's what's driving up effective rent growth in Vegas right now. Now, of course, I have to point out that overall, rents remain more than 10% below where they were at pre-recession peaks in Las Vegas, whereas most of the rest of the country were back even, if not higher, in other areas of the country. So still a big hole to fill, but at least we're seeing some nice momentum. And let's shift gears and look at apartment occupancy rates, and that is still pretty ugly. Occupancy as of Q3 14 measured just 93.2%. 260 basis points below the U.S. average, one of the weaker rates nationally. And that reflects that the oversupply of housing from the last cycle, both single-family and multifamily, there are just a lot more options in choosing a place to live than there were previously. But the good news is that occupancy is moving in the right direction, up 90 basis points year over year. And it's also good news to report that we're seeing very little construction at this point in the cycle, both multifamily and single-family, even as we see a big jump, particularly multifamily, occurring nationally. And driving this momentum for the apartment market has been some improvement in the local economy. Now, obviously, Las Vegas's economy still has a long way to go to get back to where it was, but the good news is we have seen some very healthy growth over the last couple of years, and that's been particularly driven by the all-important tourism industry. Tourist volumes coming into Vegas is now at all-time highs. It's been steadily climbing. Now, visitors aren't spending as much money as they were prior to the recession, but we are seeing more visitors. That's been a big boost to the tourism industry, and in turn, that's helped the overall economy. Another big factor that we're seeing in Las Vegas is a slowdown in investor purchases of single-family homes, which are often flipped into rentals. And seeing some stabilization in the single-family sector, that helps drive some stability into the apartment sector and really the overall economy as well. Structurally, though, this is a very different market from what it was prior to the recession. There are a lot more single-family rentals than there were back in 2007. When you combine that with the fact the economy is still very much in recovery, even though we've seen some good growth of late, it's still very much in the recovery process, and that will likely knock the Vegas market back below the national averages for rent growth at some point, certainly for the long term. In the near term, however, for the next year or so, we think Vegas should continue to be a solid outperformer. And that's going to wrap us up for Las Vegas. So until next time, for Apartment Market Dynamics and MPF Research, I'm Jay Parsons. Thank you for watching.
Want more? Go deeper with NPF Research's apartment market reports. From a national level, down to individual metros, to specific neighborhoods, NPF Research has been providing unparalleled apartment market intelligence to the multifamily industry for almost 5 decades. Learn more by contacting us at 877-284-4938 or visit www.npfresearch.com and click on Market Reports.